getting ready to get hit. I'm telling you, you have to think about your neighbor. If you don't want to think about yourself, think about the neighbor next to you, but do your part today.
Amen.
Dr. Don and Mary, Doctor, I wanted to ask you, as a medical doctor, when you see these crises, what would you recommend to the people to be prepared from the medical side of things? What do they need to do? We're seeing people like Puerto Rico today, as we're watching it, there is no help there, right. and even within the country, there's no more gasoline. So it's a desperate time.
Right. That's why, Jim, we have to be proactive. We need to have water or water bottles like you have. We need to have food that we can get to, because many times we can be hit with such disasters. All the supermarkets, they're empty. Like in Florida, even in Orlando, they were empty. There was no water. There was no food on the shelves. And so we also need to plan to get a generator. I mean, the generator is so smart, especially one that's solar powered like yours. And then you need to have adequate medicines for you guys that are on meds, especially insulin. Look at insulin. It's got to be refrigerated, so you need that generator.
Exactly.
You have to have the generator.
Yes.
Now, for you guys who want to be even more proactive, you need to start a program that's going to prevent or reverse most disease, which all starts with your dietary habits and a good dietary program. And so that's what I have in the Keto Zone program. But
when I was getting my nails done for the show, coming here, a lady was there next to me, and her husband died during the hurricane in Florida. And she says it was right in the middle of the storm. And my husband was suffering a heart attack, and I called 911. They said, we can't bring any vehicles out. I'm sorry, we can't disperse. Winds get over a certain amount, they will not disperse.
Right.
And she literally in her living room sat and watched a 60-year-old man who normally in any other circumstance, rescue would be there, resuscitate him, get him to the hospital. Sure. But because they were in the middle of the storm, she sat there and watched her husband die. And there was nothing she could do. So I asked Don, I said, Don, people don't think about when they're in the middle of the storm, what if you are suddenly struck with an illness or a chest pain? What do? He said, baby aspirins. Well, people need to know that. Those are things that you got to keep on, nearby. If you have a heart condition and an issue going on, you better keep baby aspirins around.
Baby aspirin, many people say, well, wait, it's a heart attack. You're going to have to take a lot of them. We also have special enzymes like lumbrikinase, nattokinase. I carry with me lumbrikinase.
He travels with it.
Just in case someone on the plane is having a heart attack.
As they call him.
Because, again, that can many times, it's a clot-busting type of enzyme that will help prevent a heart or help reverse, in some cases, a heart attack if you take it early enough and enough of it, see. But a baby aspirin will help with platelets sticking, because as soon as there's a clot, it's like a snowball. Platelets are the clotting factors in the blood that stick to that clot, and it makes it bigger and bigger. So if we can inhibit those platelets as soon as possible by taking baby aspirin, it'll minimize many times the heart attack.
Should all of us take baby aspirin?
Not everyone, because some people could bleed, see. It depends. You may have an ulcer. We don't want to fuel an ulcer. We don't want a person having bleeding problems. So that's why they need to, many times, see your doctor. See your doctor. Your doctor will help you decide if you have a lot of cardiovascular risk factors, such as high blood pressure, high cholesterol. If you're a smoker, oh my goodness, you should most likely be on a baby aspirin a day with food. But
Don,
again, let your doctor help you.
Dr. Don, you've written over 40 books. 20 of them are national bestsellers. And I think if people have your whole library, I'd love to have your whole library. Would you send me all your books?
I will
send
we'll send
everything.
Yes,
Absolutely.
But I think if we had all 40 of your books, we could probably get through a storm a lot better, because we could look up about anything. You've written about everything almost, I think, in these 40 books that you have written. But you have sold, 10 million books or more, and you're certified in family practice for 25 years.
Right.
And I think you've had, 50,000 patients or something by actual count. And you're certified anti-aging.
Right.
And
certified.
Now,
correct.
we're not going to talk about that a whole lot today, except this new book is the best. They're always the best. This was the best up until this minute. This book here, Let Food Be Your Medicine, has been his best-selling book. And this book is, I always say it's my book. This is the book I keep in my house. This is the book I will keep. I actually have it on my desk in my office, and I have it next to my bed. This book
The Bible
is what I live
that.
by. This is what you when did we first meet? I don't know, 10 years ago,
Probably
20
about 10
years
years ago.
Yeah.
This is what you began to teach me.
Right.
And you taught me how so many things, like with my diabetes, that I could heal my diabetes with
Yes.
prayer and with food being my medicine.
Absolutely.
And you know what? It works.
It did.
And your new book, I am as high as a kite on this one, The Keto Zone Diet. This book can change your life. For $30, I'm sending you the hardback
Wow.
Keto Zone Diet. Can change your absolute life. You want to know what foods are causing dementia and Alzheimer's, and what foods could help feed your brain? How many think you could use some help in your brain?
Oh,
Right here.
hello.
Well, I'll raise both hands. I can use double help, okay? But what about diabetes? What about all the things now that are hitting us? Lori's going to ask some hormone questions. You ladies need to tune in this week every day, I'll tell you that. But I have a question or two written down. And when we get into this subject this week, it's going to change your life. But I wanted to put it on the air, taking control of your health for $30 gift in a crisis. This ought to be a part of your survival stuff, because let your food be your medicine. This book comes with the package, with the two books. And this is the book, How to Live. Our food is killing us. There's more sugar, I think, don't you, Don, than anything else in our food.
Jim, is sugar, carbs, and starches are what is termed garbage, or like garbage, okay,
Ooh.
that is killing us. With the obesity epidemic is mainly due to the garbage, sugars, carbs, and starches. Type 2 diabetes, mainly due to the same thing. Dementia epidemic. The dementia epidemic is expected to triple from what it is now by 2050. The obesity epidemic right now, back in 1960, 1 in 7 people had obesity. Now 1 in 3 have obesity. By 2050, 1 in 2 Americans will be obese at the projected rate. And diabetes, 50% of adults have either pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes. And then the cancer epidemic, the heart disease epidemic, it's kind of like what I tell patients. It's like on Doppler radar when you see these hurricanes way out at sea. Well, right now upon us is the obesity epidemic, is the diabetes epidemic, is the cardiovascular heart disease epidemic, as well as the cancer epidemic. Hospitals are making a killing. The food industry is making a killing. Big pharma, big food making a killing. But then out in the future, you see way out near Africa, off the coast of Africa, you see the hurricanes forming. You see the dementia epidemic. That epidemic will be here in the next 20 to 30 years. And that's why nursing homes is the big thing of the future. They're saying that's the big investment, nursing homes. They're going to need to warehouse a lot of our elderly in nursing homes with dementia. But now we have the answer to prevent it. Every one of these diseases can be prevented and many times reversed if we catch them in time, if we give them the right food. Now, Let Food Be Your Medicine is a disease-specific diet. It's an anti-inflammatory diet that everyone can follow. It's very simple, and it shows you exactly what to do, and there's a lot of latitude, a lot of grace in that book. Now, I take it a step further, because then I'm seeing people with type 2 diabetes, advanced cancers, early dementia, moderate dementia. They needed something stronger. I had to literally limit their carbs to a degree that I talk about in my book, The Keto Zone. We had to put them in the keto zone. You say, what is the keto zone?
What is it?
Yes,
the
yes,
keto
that was going
zone.
to be my next question. But I just want, these two are on the special offer today, Taking Control of Your Health, the 2 books for $30. And you say, well, I already have this one. Good. Then get this set and give this to one of your family members for Christmas. This is the best, one of the best books you could give anybody for Christmas. Let's give them stuff that count.
Yes.
You can change their health
Yes.
by letting them know
Well,
we need to start eating healthy.
That's right.
Let your food be your medicine.
You know what's exciting about this book, The Keto Zone? And I as his wife, over 35 years married, watched all the books come and go. And Let Food Be Your Medicine is off the chart.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, I have never been more excited than I am about this, because I have struggled with weight loss and gaining and weight and all of that. And I got to tell you what is so amazing about when you get into the zone, why they call it the zone. When you get into the keto zone, your hunger turns off.
Oh.
Can you imagine being on a program to where you're not craving bad stuff? You're not craving the potato chips. You're not craving the ice cream. You're not craving it anymore.
That's the battle.
Right.
That is the battle.
And you know what? And here's the thing. Most women, from my experience, love carbs.
Yes.
Exactly.
I mean, we love carbs. And, you know,
Exactly.
we can't get enough of
That
them.
has been my whole struggle.
Right.
But this
Sweets don't do it
program,
for me, carbs do.
But all carbs convert to sugar.
Yes.
All starches convert to sugar. And when you have high sugar, high carbs, high starches, guess what happens? You just boosted your insulin level, spikes your insulin. Insulin is a powerful hormone that screams at your body and says, store fat, store fat. And even when you exercise, your body's saying, don't release fat, don't release fat. So the most frustrated people are the people who are exercising. They're eating, fairly good, but they're eating those carbs, especially before their workout. Their trainer tells them to. I've seen this with thousands of my patients, and yet they don't lose weight, but they continue to gain. That's because of the garbage and the sugars and the starches. So what we do is we put you in the keto zone.
Okay.
The keto zone.
Give us the what does the word keto mean? Can you give us that right off the top?
Well, ketones are special nutrients that the liver makes ketones when you're in a fasting state. And I've written books on fasting, and when people fast, their body goes into a state of ketosis, and so that the body doesn't burn all the muscle up as fuel. Now, you can get in a state of nutritional ketosis, or I call it the keto zone, different from diabetic ketoacidosis. This is not diabetic ketoacidosis. That's a dangerous state. But in the keto zone, you're in a state of nutritional ketosis or keto adaptation, where your body shifts from burning sugar as its fuel to burning fat and ketones as its fuel. Now, the favorite fuel for the brain, Jim, are ketones. They are the favorite fuel. Ketones are produced by the liver. They're called endogenous ketones. The favorite fuel for the muscles are ketones. The favorite fuel for the kidneys are ketones. So this is really one of the best fuels we can use. But when you're in a state of ketosis, appetite is turned off or way down. Literally, people are filled or satisfied for hours. Many only need 2 meals a day.
Wow.
but I got to tell you, one of the things he does, just one of the things, is you're going to be eating a lot of fat.
Yes. You got to get over the fat phobia. You're going to eat
You're going to be,
healthy
wait a
fats.
minute, you're telling me he's going to tell me eating fat and I'm wanting to lose weight?
Yes.
I mean, that just didn't go. You have no idea
I
how it
remember
works.
when I met Jim, he was on this fat-free diet.
You have to
him
go
and Jamie.
special?
And I was like, I can just tell you right now, fat-free diets are horrible for you.
Horrible.
Absolutely.
And he was like, oh, no, got to do fat-free. And I was like, I'm
the
not
worst
doing it.
thing.
Yeah,
for
but
your
there's good
body.
fat and bad fat,
Yes.
isn't there?
Absolutely.
That's what I learned.
And that's what I talk about in one of my chapters on fats. They're good fats, but again, saturated fats. So saturated fats have been so maligned as the enemy.
In fact, you have to have fat. Your brain
Well,
is what?
your brain is about 60% fat.
Did you know that you have
to
a fat brain? If you don't, it's in trouble.
But you want healthy saturated fats. You don't want saturated fats from regular butter and cream and cheese that's from cows that are injected with hormones, fed a lot of grains and fed genetically. You know, the most common food fed to animals, cattle, hogs, you know what it is? Genetically modified soy and genetically modified corn. And that's full of mold. It's usually moldy, which collects an animal's fat. They're given tremendous amount of antibiotics. There's over 400 different medications given to animals. Over 80% of the antibiotics made and sold are for animals, not for humans, and they're chock full of antibiotic residues, pesticide residues, as well as herbicide residues. And when you eat all that animal fat, you get a lot of those toxins in it. So that's why I recommend grass-fed beef.
Yes.
I also recommend, your the chickens that are not grain-fed, but are in the pastured chicken.
Yeah.
Well, let me give you an example. This morning we were eating breakfast, and I told the cook to give me 2 eggs over easy.
Yeah.
With
So-
the yolks, and yolks
With
are
the yolks,
important.
right.
You need the
So
yolks.
he cooked me these 2 eggs and brought them to the table, and I took one bite and almost, I mean, I literally was like, oh, these taste terrible. So I look over at what he's cooking. He's got this oil that he cooks it in, and it just dawned on me.
Vegetable oil.
It was vegetable oil.
Oh,
so I
no.
go back to him and I said, sir, I'm sorry. I should have told you cook mine in butter. I only cook my eggs in butter, real butter.
So is vegetable oil not good?
Oh,
No.
okay. Most vegetable oil. Let me explain something. That's a common mistake most people make. They go and they say, oh, don't worry, it's vegetable oil. Do you know the most common oil consumed in America is soybean oil, which is a polyunsaturated fat. It's highly inflammatory, and it's almost always genetically modified, making it highly inflammatory to the body.
And isn't highly inflammatory, which I've learned from you,
Yes.
is what causes
Most diseases, absolutely. And also, do you know most French fries are fried in corn oil, which is highly inflammatory. But get back to butter. Yes, butter, a little butter is great. If you don't have access to grass-fed butter, a little butter is good. Even better is grass-fed butter or grass-fed ghee. Now, I'm not asking you to eat it by the spoonful. Moderation is the key with saturated fats. Also, we talked about grass-fed meats, coconut oil, MCT oil. The king of fats, I tell people, is organic extra virgin olive oil.
Yeah.
Now, I consume a tremendous amount of that a
No,
day.
he drinks it by a little
I do.
cup. He pours
What?
it in a cup.
A Dixie
he
cup.
does, a little
Yeah.
I
Dixie
do.
cup. He pours it in.
Yes.
Not the big Dixie cup. The little,
No, the little 3 ounce.
bitty Dixie cup.
like the
and
I
he,
take
communion
half
size.
of it.
he drinks
About right.
it
I'll drink a half a
straight.
cup straight
I
every
cannot
evening.
do that.
Absolutely. I love it. I love olive oil. Yeah.
You told Jim to do that, and
Yes.
he hasn't done it yet.
Well, can I tell you, I take in at least 10 tablespoons of healthy fats a day. Now, listen, when you take in 10 tablespoons of fats and you minimize your sugars, your starches, your carbs, moderation in proteins, I don't recommend a lot of proteins, animal proteins, that is.
Right.
And then you got to have veggies. For lunch today, I was eating salmon with garlic on it, with a little butter on it, with some, lemon on it, as well as broccoli with butter. I was totally keto. I was in the keto zone.
Yes.
And so again, when you get in this keto zone and the oils you want
Your
those
hunger
healthy oils.
turns off, though. When
No
you're in
hunger
the
at all
true-
for hours.
Say that again.
When you're in the keto zone, your hunger completely turns off.
For bad food.
It does.
Right.
I mean, you don't crave anything.
Yeah, well,
you're satisfied and you
yeah.
feel good.
When you started me on health
Right.
and eating right, I didn't for years crave any junk food. I didn't want it anymore.
Right, right.
I was happy. But there's times now when I just want to go eat Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah.
With grease just
With that,
dripping
your
down
body's
your arms.
your body's needing an oil change. You're due for an oil change.
Oh,
and the
boy.
oil you're needing is going to be fish oil is number 1. That's your most important oil for your body, fish oil. Number 2, olive oil. You need that extra virgin olive oil.
Love it.
Or another really good one is avocado oil.
Yes.
Avocados are so healthy. And what's so neat, they're so low in carbs. I use avocados all the time. Avocado
too.
oil. I'll put it in my smoothies. Don't have olive oil in your smoothies. It ruins your smoothies. But avocado oil tastes delicious. MCT oil, that comes from coconut oil. But this kind of MCT oil will not raise your cholesterol. See, you say you're worried about cholesterol. I'm not, but your doctor is, because if you have too much coconut oil, yes, it will raise your cholesterol. It doesn't raise your dangerous cholesterol. It raises your your pattern A that's neutral. It doesn't cause heart disease. See, again, I educate you in the book that fat is not your enemy. When you have the right amount of fat and the right fats and the right proportions, it does not cause heart disease. That has been debunked, but most doctors still do not know that. We have had some of the most incredible research out in the past few years. Now you can eat whole eggs. You can eat the yolk. They have shown since 2015 in the dietary guidelines for the U.S., 2015 to 2020, yes, you can have the whole yolk, and you can have it every day, and it will not raise your cholesterol.
You know what's so sad is the low-fat, no-fat diets and information has made America fat.
It has.
You can sit at an airport and look at people going by,
yes.
and it's like America has blown up. Literally, it's like huge. I look on the airplanes, and I see people squeezing down in those seats, and I think, it's going to pop.
Well,
I don't know how they sit in those
Wait, I have to
little
tell you this
seats.
story. Just recently, my wife and I didn't get on, well, she was flying by herself, so she got stuck in a middle aisle or middle seat.
Window seat.
Window seat. But the person that sat next to her was 350 pounds, spilling over into her seat. But to make,
I'm over here like this because she's halfway into mine too. But it broke my heart.
Yeah.
No, I wanted to talk to her because
Yeah.
I felt like there was so much I could tell her. And the sad thing is, she was like 23. You know, the young people. I'm looking at the young people because they don't know. They don't know.
They're not
this
being
information.
educated, and they think they're going to live forever, and they can eat anything they want to eat. And if I was a young person like you guys, like Ricky, I would start eating very healthy now because you pay for it.
We do have to go. Be sure to order your Keto Zone diet special.
Yes.
This is the health special. And this will give you a new beginning in health, and you're going to get the Let Food Be Your Diet book as well. Both of them for a gift of just $30. Call me right now, toll free